What's up, Blazioneers and Blazionettes? I am about to review the fourth season of The Walking Dead as we're on this long, super long hiatus. So let's get right to it. You know, in the first half was a really interesting is that it kept fucking with us. Like we're thinking, what's going on? What's happening? Does the governor have someone, have someone on the inside, somebody, like a new member that's secretly working for him, and there's this illness that's spreading around the prison, and it's like, okay, I mean, is the governor has to be behind this? He has to be. He's still out there. I mean, like, he's still alive, so this is probably his way to, to get back at the group. I mean, and whatever. That's what we were like speculating and speculating and speculating. Like, where is this illness coming from? It's got to be something that he hooked up or whatever. And it turns out, like, and also with and with two members being burned, what, not burned alive, but put down and set on fire, and dragged them out there and set on fire. It's like, what is going on? And and also, like, who's feeding the walkers at the prison? I mean, who's feeding them through the fence? I mean, like, who the fuck is doing that? I mean, like, someone's got to be working for the governor. And to our I guess to our surprise, or at least to my surprise, like, it is like way more to it than that. It wasn't that black and white. Um, Holy shit. Like, with the whole illness thing, like, I don't think they really came to a conclusion of what was causing it. I mean, it was all, I guess, like, we may never know what it is. I mean, maybe it was the pigs, maybe it was them, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I mean, like, we don't know what caused it. Um, but at least I don't know. I mean, feel free to tell me if I'm, like, off beat here. And when the governor finally does show up, and we were like, okay, where the fuck has he been, for these past few months? Like, I mean, what is he doing? And then we do discover that of why he's been away that long, and where has he been, during that time. I mean, that's cool, but at the same time, I kind of wish that was a plot hole, because I was not particularly fond of where we saw him, like, where he's been since he tried to attack, the prison and shot down, a lot of his own people. I mean, like seeing where he's been, like, his own two episodes, I did not really care for. The first episode of those two, I really did not care for. The second one was an improvement to me, like, where we start to see the governor come back. Um, Even though I wish it was a plot hole, I would have preferred that over over those two episodes, really. But anyway, oh well. And and then when he finally does make his attack on the mid-season finale, it really makes up for the season 3 finale, because this was what I wanted out of the season 3 finale. But I literally got over that when we got this mid-season finale. Thinking back on it, this is probably still, right now, still the craziest, most intense, probably the most action packed mid-season finale of The Walking Dead by far. Right now, currently. I can't think of one. I don't know. I mean, like, I think a lot of their mid-season finales are pretty good, but um, this one is on top right now. And holy shit. and and in the second half, it's focused on how this attack and them being forced to scatter and leave the prison and leave and go back out in this world that they've been trying to, shelter themselves from. They're forced to go back out there, and it shows how it hits them mentally, physically, emotionally. It's crazy for everybody who had to leave the prison, who survived the attack. And man, it's like, it's really intense, and it's really a stomach tugger. I mean, like, and we see that, and we come to conclusions like, what happened, who fed the walkers at the prison. And then we see that Lizzie was she was crazier, much crazier than we thought she was. I mean, we see that in the second half. I thought she was just little, like just a little weirdo. I mean, like, but it turns out that she's a bit worse than that. And holy shit. And then we have these group of people that Rick was trying to hide from, and that really had me like had my bones chilling. Like holy shit, like he's there unarmed and probably unable to defend himself against all those people there. And like, oh man, I mean, I feel like I was watching a suspenseful thriller in that episode. Hiding under the bed and and sneaking away. And make man, I mean, holy shit, that was an intense episode. And his kill switch was off for a good while, and then that's the first time he had to flip it on. Like when those people were in the house, and holy shit. and then I was wondering, like, why can't I see what has motivated Rick to really turn off his kill switch, and how did he get Carl? I guess to pull back Carl from what and down that dark path that he was heading in the season 3 finale. Like I want to see that gap filled. I'm going to fill in that gap, and then they had that filled a little bit, glimpses. They gave us little bits and pieces of how that happened in the season finale of this season, and I have to say, when Carol had to shoot Lizzie, when she had to kill Lizzie, that was like one of the most disturbing episodes of the season. Probably might be one of the 2 most disturbing episodes of the season. Probably the most for some of you. And I don't blame you if you really think this is the most disturbing episode. That's with good reason. And the whole build up to going to Terminus, and it was like, some of you were like, okay, this could be where they can go, and some people may think, okay, I think this is total bullshit. I think it's a trap, and it turns out that, yeah, it really was a trap, and and it ended on a cliffhanger. I'm glad that this season finale ended on a cliffhanger, because the first 3 seasons finales did not end on a cliffhanger. I'm thinking, great show, great scale. Why hasn't it ended on a cliffhanger? Like, why is it ended where our group is like in immediate danger? Like, holy shit, how are they gonna get out of this? And I'm glad that that's how this season ended. Like where they're forced to go in that train car, unarmed, everything, and outgunned and everything, and it just, I was like, finally, a cliffhanger, finally, and that made me love the finale even more. And I was probably like, I felt like the first best season finale, that the show has had yet, and what Rick had to do when he had to turn on his kill switch all the way on, in this finale, like holy shit, and then the pages of the panels of that issue of that comic book issue was flashing before my eyes, like, oh yeah, that's right, he did do that, he did rip the guy's throat out, he did, that guy was gonna try to rape Carl, and oh man, that was fucking crazy, like holy shit. But he was not, I mean, like, hey, I mean, like, it's a totally rational decision. I mean, like, you're not gonna let him rape your kid, and then, and let them, kill your people and kill you, and no, you're not having it, no. So, I mean, like, Rick is really, really like a much bigger threat than he's ever been, at this point. And I love that. I mean, this, I'm not a fan of episodes without Rick. I'm not a fan of those at all. And, but most of these episodes in the second half, I can understand why we haven't seen them that much. I can understand why, because we need to focus on how everyone is dealing. How are they going to get the Terminus? Are they going to reunite? And et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I have to say that Daryl and Beth episode where they're drinking and sort of fessing up, stuff, personal things about themselves. Not a fan of those. I was not a fan of that episode. It had good moments, but I was just not really fond of that episode. I'm sorry. But overall, this season gets 4 chair spins out of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, baby. So, Yeah, I really enjoyed the mid-season finale, and I enjoyed the season finale, and I enjoyed, I enjoyed most of this, basically this season overall. I mean, it was definitely, definitely a game changer, and like it felt like it was two separate seasons, like, and so it just felt, it was just done really well. I mean, there's nothing more I can say. And then you come across these new characters, Abraham, Eugene, and Rosita, and they're saying that they have a cure. They're gonna cure the apocalypse, and then it and I'm thinking to myself, it's gotta be bullshit because the comic book series is still running and whatnot. But we'll get to that in season 5. So but I mean, like, yeah, it all came together nicely, and I just and it's leading to a much more epic, like season. And man, I mean, I just loved how it all came together, and it's definitely an emotional roller coaster, in every episode. And we lost Herschel. That was really really hard to watch, and it was really hard to see what those characters were going through. And man, I just, what else? I mean, like, it was just a lot of fun. So let me know what you thought of this season. And if you enjoyed this review, make sure you thumb up the video. Make sure you click subscribe if you're new to the channel. And we are going to get a season 7 trailer next Friday, next weekend. I think so. So I'm going to try to wrap up these reviews right before that trailer drops. So keep on the lookout for those reviews. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, y'all.